Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Erica and I realize that it is only September. However, I don't know how long these two costumes are going to take to make, and this is what my daughter wanted to be for Halloween, and she requested that I join her in the fun. So I'm going to actually try to do these as actual appropriate and well done cosplays. That way we can wear these to conventions and other things. We have a convention that comes not too far from us and it's fun. I went with my husband this year and saw a whole bunch of absolutely amazing costumes, and it made me want to actually wear mine. I wasn't really prepared to wear one this year, but at some point I'm gonna wear my Belle costume to one, and I'm gonna get my husband to wear his Beast costume. But these will be a little bit different and still Disney princess, but something I can do with my daughter, which we love doing this together. So she has requested to be Merida from Brave for Halloween this year, and she wants me to be Queen Eleanor. And we really did try to convince the twins to be little black bears, but they didn't go for it. But we gave it our effort. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I can talk them into that at some point. But as of right now, one of the 6-year-olds wants to be Darth Maul, so there's that. But we'll see. But for this video, we are going to start on the Merida costume for my daughter. So you saw me pull the fabric out and get it into the kitchen because I'm going to use linen for her dress. She does not want Merida's fancy dress. She wants her greenish teal one that she wears throughout most of the movie, where she can be active and use her bow and arrow. So if you've watched any of my previous videos where I have done something for my daughter, even though I've blurred her face out, you should have noticed she has extremely curly hair, and we have joked that it looks like Merida's a lot. She's got a lot of red highlights in there, so when the sun shines on it, it looks almost strawberry. She had very brown hair when she was little, and then it has just slowly started getting redder and redder and redder, and it's really been cool to watch, and she loves it. So she doesn't actually want to buy a wig. She just wants to use her own hair, and I think it's awesome. You know, when this movie came out, she was really little, and I remember her being extremely excited that there was finally a Disney princess that had her hair that curled and looked frizzy like hers. So this has been her favorite princess for quite some time. Close runner-up being Tiana, but this is her favorite, I think, simply because of the fact that my daughter also loves archery, and she related to her. So I have got the linen in there. I'm waiting for the water to boil because I've got to remove the salmon color from it first, and then I have some dye that I'm going to play with to see if I can get it as close to the color as possible. So this is the dress that, if I can zoom in on it, that she wants to be. Love the glow. But it's not straight up green, but it's not teal. I do see a lot of people cosplaying it as teal, a lot of people cosplaying it as straight up green. You know, I'm gonna play with it and see what I'm happy with, what she's happy with. And then also I found this pattern at a thrift store recently, and I was pretty excited about it. I found it and a couple others that are Butterick, the historical ones, which obviously we know isn't, you know, 100% historically accurate, but that's not what I'm going for. I'm going for Merida. And this gives me the basic shape. Obviously, I will have to make some changes to the sleeve tops to where it's got the gaps. I don't know what they're officially called, honestly, but where the chemise is visible under that part of the sleeve. So I am going to be making her a chemise too, so I've got to go through my stash and see if I can hunt up some light linen or cotton in enough quantity to make her the linen shift. Hers doesn't look straight up white, it looks more of an off-white, so I might end up having to do some coffee coloring or something to it, depending on what I have. I might have some natural colored cotton that I can make work. So, and if I have that, I won't need to do that. But other than that, either coffee or tea, whichever works better. I'll have to Google it to stain it, because it's definitely not stark white. So, yes. And if you've been around for any of the other videos with my daughter's stuff, you know how much she likes it to be comfortable. So I think that was one of the reasons she wanted this one over the stiff formal one. So we're going to start with hers. I am, like I said, currently waiting for the water to boil to go remove the color, and then we can start the dyeing process. Okay, y'all, moment of realness. As I have tripped over this stuff like 5 times going back and forth working on dyeing the fabric, I'm waiting for it to finish washing. I'm going to show you how my kids left the house for school this morning. So if you can't tell, Pokemon is quite the favorite around here, but there's game and shoes and favorite blankets and all of that all over the place. And it's like, well, if you ever wonder why I have certain angles of the camera, this is why, because this is what life looks like for me. I have the fabric here. I ran it through the wash twice because I ran it on the speed cycle, which is only 15 minutes, so I wanted to make sure that was a soap pod for a regular load, so I just wanted to run it again to make sure all the soap was removed. When I did the original fabric removal bath, I did a strip of extra fabric, and that's here. I have got it cut up because this is going to be my test for the colors before I actually put that in there. So I have, and right now I'm heating up the water again because it's supposed to be, it says 140 degrees or greater. So I'm heating it up. I've got the dish soap that's supposed to go in there, a cup of salt, gloves for my protection, and then I have this dark green RIT here with, I've got 2 colors of blue. I don't think I'm going to be using this one. I think it's just going to be a little bit of this one to add just a tiny bit of teal to it, but I brought both blues I had in here just in case. So I've already pulled the seal off this one because I know I'll be putting a little bit in there. I will probably be using this entire bottle. So it says it's basically half a bottle for what would be about half of this. So that's okay. Part of the project. So waiting for the water to heat up, then I'll start adding everything. So I'm going to check it. Got my little thermometer. We're at 140. Oh, 150, so we're good. So I'm going to turn the fire down and add in the salt. Don't you love that my measuring cup broke? Still use it. And then about it says about a teaspoon. I'm just estimating. And make sure that that's stirred up in there. Grab a plate. And I'm not afraid to use my dinner plates because these are ceramic plates. And I know that this is the tea rose, but I got pretty much every bit of tea rose that I have, which is quite a bit, at thrift stores. So I'm not super concerned. I mean, I'm gonna try not to ruin my plate, obviously, but I have a whole bunch of them. So I don't think that this will ruin the plate regardless, but just in case. And yeah, so now it is coloring time. Whew. Okay, readjusting. All right, let's see what we're looking at here. And this is my stainless steel kitchen spoon, so it should also be 100% fine. Alright, let's see what we got. Okay, there's not really going to be too much variation visible on the camera, but this is the final color that I ended up with more dye than I expected, and I'm still not sure that that's going to be dark enough. So I might have to go back to the store and get some more really dark green. I honestly wish I had a tad of black to add to it to give it the actual like depth of color, but I don't have any black. So this was like 2 different shades of blue and greens. So yeah, I'm just gonna let it sit and stir it for quite some time and see. Obviously this was in like a, I'm hoping that part of the problem is this was a very quick go through the dye bath with the tongs, and then I squeezed it out because I'm just trying to get a quick, like it's the right shade that I'm looking for, it's just not nearly dark enough. So I'm hoping with leaving it in there for as long as I'm supposed to leave it in there, which none of these were, that it should be fine. If not, we'll go from there. I do have plenty of this linen, and whatever color this ends up will be pretty. It just may not be Merida, so I might have to do this whole process again with another 4 yards of fabric. So regardless, this will get used in whatever shade it ends up with. Just we'll see if this ends up as her Merida costume or something down the road, and we start at the beginning with more fabric removal with another 4 yards of fabric. Hence why I started this early. Okay, so I have washed and dried and finished the first round. The first round of dyeing, and why I say it that way is because it is a beautiful shade of green that's completely the wrong color. So this is what I have, and it is blotchy. You can't tell that badly, But I was stuffing 4 yards of fabric into that pot, and while it is a very big pot, it wasn't quite big enough. So what, I have a plan to pull it out and save it, because I don't think that I need to go back and completely start from scratch with color removal again. I'm gonna run to the store in a little bit and see if there's any darker green. If not, get the dark green again and some black. There was an option on the dye to do it in the kitchen sink, which I have a lot more room to do and a lot more room to like move it around. So between again, this is a test as I go, but I didn't want to leave this part out that this was not the right color. But that was pretty green though. It's just not right for Merida. So we're gonna keep trying. This is not lost. I think I can still pull it out because it's a base deep green. So that will have to wait another day. But that is where we are, and I did want to touch base. And just for the record, yes, my plate came out perfectly clean and all the dye came off of it just fine. So that's good. Okay, a quick run to the store this morning. More dye and dye bath number 2. We have it! And it's even. There's no blotches that I can see. I ended up going ahead and just doing it as one big piece, even though I said the other day I wouldn't. But I tried in my sink this time instead of the pot for a piece this big. And that way I was actually, it wasn't boiling, so it was just really hot. So I had the rubber gloves on, and I was able to stir it myself and keep it moving and agitating and move it around and all of that throughout the water for 20 minutes. I'm not going to say that I didn't burn my hand more than once or twice and have to stop agitating it long enough to cool my hands off because it was very hot water. But I did it. It worked. And I think the color is perfect. Looks so good. I showed it to my daughter and she agrees. So yay. So I have that ready to go. And then I dug through and found all of the natural color light cottons that I could find. So between all of this, I feel like I should be able to make a chemise work for her. So I have the fabrics. This shouldn't be that difficult. I am going to go make sure I have a couple of reference images saved of Merida's dress, but I'm going to obviously start with the chemise, and that will have to be another day. But I'm happy with the progress of this, and that I have the fabric, and it's just hilariously amazing to me that this was the salmon pink linen, and now it is very, very green with a little hint of teal, which is what I was going for, and very dark. It's perfect. I'm really excited.